Hello and welcome back to Dragon Quest World Tutorials. I'm GoichiZZ, and in this video I want to go over the latest weapon of the game. So that is going to be right over here on my Demon Swordsman. So this is going to be the Roto's Dragon Sword, and I also have the Holy Shield as well. So after using gems and spending mileage points, I was finally able to get this New Year's weapon banner for 2026, and it does not disappoint, especially when it comes to the Giga Monster. So over here, in terms of the actual abilities that we see for this particular weapon, for the Roto's Dragon Sword, the attack power is going to be at 188, and as you go up, increase the sword's levels. At level 1, we're going to have plus 5 attack power if this is equipped on a Battle Master. We're going to have also at level 1 plus 1% to guard weight if this is on a Paladin. Also at level 1 plus 5% dual wielding weapon if it's a technique damage if this is for character for dual wielding. So pretty much your demon. Going to have at level 10 plus 5 damage to Ryuou. Then at level 35 we're going to have plus 5 damage to dragons. Also at level 40 we're going to have plus 5 damage to question mark enemies, and at level 45 we're going to have plus 12 to attack power if you have expertise with this particular weapon. Then besides that, in terms of the shields, the Roto's Holy Shield, pretty much you're going to have these stats on it over here. So with this, the basic stats, you're going to have plus 62 to your defense and plus 3% to your guard rate. At level 3, you will get plus 10 to your max MP. Level 5, you're going to get plus 20% damage to Ryuou. Then at level 8, something I mentioned before, with this, there's a possibility to guard against some spell and breath attacks. At level 10, you're going to get plus 3% weapon and physical technique skill damage. At level 12, you will get plus 3% spell damage. At level 15, you will have plus 3% Dein damage. At level 18, plus 5% guard rate. At level 20, plus 10 to your attack power. 23 plus 10 to your healing power, and then at 25 plus 1 to your guard rate. So those are going to be the weapons and also the shield that we have there. So I now want to go over the abilities in this particular case, starting out with a Mega or the Giga Monster battle. So here we go. Okay, so here that I'm now at my character, so here you're going to see a couple of things. The first one at the top, you're going to actually notice that there is the domain skill on. That is going to be the Legend of Roto. That's going to cost 2% of your max MP. So at the start of the battle, the Legend of Roto domain skill is activated. While active, enemy resistances to Dein attribute is greatly lowered, while it's easier for the Dein resistances to the Dein attributes is greatly lowered. It'll be easier for the Dein attribute attacks of allies to be critical hits and spell crits. Then besides that, I'm also going to have Kakugo Yadosu Ken, which is resolve bestowed sword, which is going to cost 10 MP. And at the start of the battle, the wielder's tension level is a chance to increase by 1 level. If one of the enemies happens to be a dragon or question type enemy, then the wielder will have super high tension, which you see here. So now the next ability that I want to go over is going to be for the shield, which is going to be Seinaru Chikara, which is going to be Holy Power. This is going to cost 10% of your max MP. So with this, it bestows the wielder with the protective shield, increases guard rate, disruption wave guard, and allows the wielder to act again. So going to be like this. Then next here, I want to go over the next ability, which is going to be Yusha no Kiai Tame, which is going to be Heroes Gather Strength. This is going to cost 20 NMP. So the next attack the wielder does that is weapon or physical technique damage does 2.3 times the damage and increases the duration of buffs on the wielder for a max of 2 turns. Can only be used once during the battle. Okay, so there, that was Severance. But now we're going to actually see the ability of Akiramenai Mono, which is going to be one who does not give up. Take an action due to debuff. The wielder acts in their place, increases their own attack power, and removes recovers a certain amount of HP and MP. Can only be done 30 times during battle, as you're going to see that here. And as you're doing this, as you're looking here, you're going to be seeing me using Giga Slash pretty much for each of these attacks. So with Giga Slash, it's going to be Giga Slash Legend, I should say, costs 61 MP, which does 700 to 1200 Dein weapon damage to all enemies, ignores guard and evasion rates, critical hits, becomes super critical hits, and does 99 damage to metal type enemies. Okay, so here is a new battle against Buffalo and Mohicant. So if you actually remember, or I'm not sure if you do, but actually Buffalo and Mohicant are actually resistant to the Dein type attribute. But if you now actually take a look at, for example, if I go to Holy Rush, they're actually now have greater weakness to it. So that's going to be the effects of the Legend of Roto domain skill, so going to be quite effective. So definitely this is a weapon that's going to change a lot of things. So again, like I went over in my very quick battle with Azure Dragon Lord, the ability here that you're going to see is going to be Giga Slash Legend. So this is going to cost 61 MP. So this does 700 to 1200% Dein weapon damage to all enemies, ignores guard and evasion rates, and critical hits become super critical hits. And if these were metal enemies, it does pretty much tier 99 damage, but I actually seen it just a straight 100 damage to metal type enemies. So going to be like this. Okay, so there my ninja was actually knocked out of the battle. So with this here, that actually sets up Akiramenai Mono, which is one who does not give up. Again, this is going to cost 2% of your max MP. So when an ally is unable to take an action due to a debuff or condition, the wielder actually takes the action instead. So pretty much can actually go ahead and take action here. So here I actually want to buff myself up. So then here again with Giga Slash Legend, here I'm actually buffed up quite a bit. So here should actually do some pretty nasty damage. So we'll see what happens with this here. Okay, so did a lot more damage to Buffalo, but I really want to take Mohican out if possible. But that's pretty much going to be those particular abilities on the weapon. Okay, so I'm here back again against Buffalo and Mohicant, and this is going to actually slightly different, mainly because I have actually changed the class of my main character from Demon Swordsman to God Hand, because the two challenges that you actually have for this particular weapon can only be used from one of two classes. So that is either going to be the God Hand or the Guardian. So that requires you to do the skill traits that allows you to take damage and or guard action. So in this case, I want to actually go over those and try to take some damage. So here, just going to go ahead. Okay, so from there, you actually did see something happen in terms of my god hand. I actually guarded and actually gained a tension level to the character. So that is actually going to be an ability called Hirumanu Yuki, which is going to be Undeterred Courage. So this is going to cost 2 MP. So when a class trait that allows damage to be taken or a guard action, there is a chance that the wielder's tension level will increase and will extend their positive tension level by 1 turn. So that's going to be that particular ability. Okay, and so with those attacks, you actually did see me take some guards from the enemy, and with that, my tension level was raised to 50, so that was actually 3 times, so that fulfilled the other challenge, which is going to be called Yomigairu Densetsu, which is Legend Revived. This costs 2% of your max MP. What it does, if the wielder successively activates a class trait that allows damage to be taken or a guard action 3 times, then the Legend of Roto domain skill will activate as you saw it reactivate there. So that's going to be the abilities of this weapon. Okay, so that was going over the latest weapon, the Roto's Dragon Sword, and also Roto's Holy Shield. So pretty much in terms of giving this particular weapon score, in terms of sudden activation abilities, I'm going to give it a 5. So the sudden activation abilities for the weapon are top tier, especially the Legend of Roto. So with this ability, even enemies who are immune to Dein damage will now have greater weakness to the attribute, which changes your strategy for the battle completely. So Resolve Bestowed Sword is also very good as well, since it's pretty much the same as the God Eater Great Sword's fighting spirit to challenge a god, but you now receive super high tension not only for the enemy being a question mark type of enemy, but also for dragons as well. So in this video, I actually did not go over field battles, so I actually want to go into a field battle real quickly just to show you what it's going to be like. So for me, what I do for field battles, I have this ability here to pretty much put all the enemies to sleep. So no way for them to attack me, so I can actually just have free reign to go ahead and attack the enemies just like this, not worry about repercussions. But let's see, probably with this attack right here, going to take out the remaining enemies. Or not, but here, going to be like that. Also, something else in regards to the weapon, since this is my leveling build, I have accessories that are going to actually be increasing XP gains, so not necessarily for increased damage, but pretty much I can still get the results. So same here, again, going to put the enemies to sleep. Here at this time, okay, good, I have right there. So that's really how the battle should go. And also a big thing here is that I don't have the domain skill on. It's actually going to be for the God Eater Greatsword, but if I actually had it reverse, that would actually done even greater damage. So pretty much in terms of field battles, I'm also going to give this a 5 as well. So while this weapon only has 1 offensive skill, it is the one that can do massive damage on the field, and in the right conditions can take out all enemies that you encounter with 1 hit. So this is definitely a weapon that you want to have while leveling your party, especially if you have it equipped on a demon, since they can dual wield and can do 2 attacks in 1. Then Here you did not see it, but in terms of metal enemies, again, this is going to be a 5. So again, with Giga / Legend, we have an ability that not only takes out all enemies on the field, but metal type enemies as well. So the ability pretty much guarantees a one-hit kill for all metal enemies that appear on the field. And though there is not king time on this weapon, you can easily have another party member with a weapon that has king time on it. So pretty much I have this character that has the banner of the white hero that actually does have king time on that particular weapon. So that's going to guarantee your party taking their actions before any of the enemies on the field. Then in terms of boss battles, you actually saw in my boss battle with Dark Over Dragon Lord, this weapon pretty much just takes it down. So due to not just the damage that the weapon can do, but the talisman ability that allows the wielder to have more than take 3 actions in a round if the severance debuff is used. But pretty much you saw that normally in a, especially if I remember from the previous Giga Monster, it took at least 7 minutes for you to actually go through it with everyone doing the damage. But now with this one, it takes only a couple of minutes. It's like literally very quick, just because of this weapon and everyone has it. So that's going to be it. So paired with making the enemy weak to Dein attribute, just about any enemy will be overpowered by this weapon. So in terms of future use, again, going to be a 5. So this weapon is pretty broken, which is why many players online have commented about wanting to get this weapon as they see it as a necessity. No matter what the battle you will be facing in the future, Roto's Dragon Sword is going to be a weapon that you want to have in your party, similar to the God Eater Greatsword. So though with the God Eater Greatsword, the difference for that particular weapon is that it's going to be a bit more versatile, as you can change your souls to fit different attributes that will reflect in the attacks of the weapon. But here it takes the weapon's ability and brings the enemy down to that weapon's level, so making them weak to Dein. So that's going to be the importance of this weapon. So pretty much my total score for this weapon is going to be a perfect score of 25. So this weapon is actually quite good, as you saw in the battles that I actually had. So again, this is a weapon that you want to use and want to get. So if you don't have it, definitely you should be getting it. So with that said, what I want to do now is actually go over a soul, and that is going to be for the Destruction Golem. So this particular enemy was featured in a Journey of Awakening video that I did recently. So with this is going to be a yellow soul. So with yellow souls, remember, their biggest stats are going to be your max HP, your strength, and your durability. So pretty much you see all those are going to be the greatest stats for this particular soul. So plus 200 to your max HP, plus 117 to your strength, 140 for your durability. So everything else is actually not so good in terms of the stats, but those are the main stats you want for this particular soul. In terms of the abilities of the soul, we're going to have Gather Strength, so that's going to increase your strength by 2. Then we're also going to have plus 10% to weapon and physical technique skill damage, plus 12% to Dormer weapon and physical technique damage, plus 7% critical hit skill damage, plus 3% to weapon and physical technique resistance, and plus 3% spell resistance. So that's pretty much going to be this soul here. So that's going to be it for this particular video. So for the next video, I want to go over the Wandering Armor of Roto Hokuda Ruler. So that's going to have a couple of different types of Hokuda Rulers depending on the amount of points that it's worth. I'm going to be challenging the hardest one just to show you what it's like. So going to have not being able to use items, and not going to be able to, and only being able to use support skill only once. And I will also go over the S grade soul as well, so please stay tuned for that. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you would like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.